So yeah, just to make a little tighter the comparison I made between the scientific method and Socrates' kind of way of doing the scientific method, but just science in general and the approach to science and Socrates' way of doing business. And even though Socrates was tended to, at least in all Socrates I've read, go after more abstract truth. Not like what's the composition of a rock, but like what is the nature of justice or fairness or these sort of terms these words we use, and when we try and nail down on specifically what they mean, that can be very difficult. Like defining them. So even though it might be a little bit difference in focus between trying to measure the pH of some liquid, but they come together in the sense of what they're ultimately after, which is truth at all costs. It's not about sophism in any way, meaning it's not about looking good or getting money to by not being completely honest. It's just a very honest way of looking at the world, and ideas that relate to the world. So even though perhaps what they're ultimately after, a scientist versus say someone who's following in the tradition of Socrates in the terms of what they're looking for as far as realms of truth, let's say, social truths, let's say, or truths of morality versus truths of physics. But it's just coming together in truth at all costs. Ourselves are aside, just trying to a focus on the objective is the best way to put it. Yeah, and quickly just to clarify what I meant by focus on the objective, of course, I mean focus on objectivity over subjectivity. And that's even if we're talking about truths that are dependent upon a subject in some way. It's a focus on objectivity. And just to add also, the word truths gets thrown around a lot. So I think truths and questions is a better way to put it, because it's just an honest investigation, and it's knowing when. And part of an honest investigation focused on objectivity is being able to say, okay, like we cannot come to a concrete truth about this, but this is how far as we can come. Now that said, there may be truths about a word like justice. I mean, we're able to say it's true that punching somebody in the face for no reason is not just by the way we define justice. I mean, it's not gain in some negative way. There's a sort of virtue in there. So there are truths we can say about justice, even if justice can't be defined in an ultimately true way.